but 有点遗憾. So, there's this really good link called WSAN Schools, which we're going to use when we practice SQL. Okay? I will send it to you for our homework. You're going to look here. At the top, they have Python, they have SQL. If you click on SQL, they have the different examples. So, 今天我们学习是 SQL and database. Okay? But right now, we're just going to see, right, let's see here. Okay, we're 10年级. We're almost finished everything. We already finished that. Algorithms, 我们做完了. We are database. Wendy, what is a database?
Database is like a place that you store a whole bunch of data that you need in the.
Okay, very good. Nisha, in your notebook, database is basically to store data in tables. And the tables is like, it's more like random data. Okay? But then we can use SQL. Now, SQL is a code to organize and select data using a query. Okay? So you have a whole bunch of data. Okay? And this is in a table. David? So the table, we have this thing called row, and we have column. Column. Okay? And one row is one piece of data. This is called a record. Okay? For example, if you have a doctor, you have different patients. I have, Ched is one patient, Wendy is the other patient, and then I have Floss and I have the other one. All the data will go in here. Okay? And so what happens is SQL is a database. It's like a table that you can put a whole bunch of random information. Okay? We call them attributes. We have different attributes that we can add to the fields. And then SQL is a search algorithm. We'll click search. I can sort information. And that's basically what we're studying about, is database. Okay? So this week we'll study a little bit about database, and then next week we're going to review, and then we have our test for paper 1. Okay? So this is the last, basically, our last topics is, so this week what we're doing is data management systems, DML, SQL. We're going to learn about SQL, ER diagrams, and then normalization. So this week is basically the last new information, and I already deleted those questions from our mock exam. So you didn't see these questions, but they will appear on paper 1 exam. So let's have a look. We're on part 1. Okay. Now, what is a database there, Chet?
Database.
What is a database?
Store data in table.
Correct. And one example, it's actually basically a software. It's a software. And one software is called MS Access. MS Access is a program that's like a table. Excel is not necessarily a database because it doesn't really have queries. Okay, so what a database is, it's a collection of data. You don't need to write this down. We already put it here. Database is to store data in tables. That's what you need to remember. You see how that?
Yeah.
Anything that we put on there. Now, why use database there, Wendy? Why use database?
Because the data is consistent and independent in database.
Yeah, because there are 2 types of ways that we can store data. Number 1, you can use a file. You could save it into a file, a linear file. For example, a txt. We already did this in Python, right? For example, I say, hello, how are you? Each piece of these data is in a linear line. And if I have to find information, is it easy to find information in a text file? We already know a search algorithm. If I had to find the word you, I can iterate through each of these. 对不对? Do you remember how we do a search? If我需要找一个东西, I have to start at the very beginning and then till I find the data. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
This wastes time. So we need to know the difference between file storage and database. Well, this idea is not very good. What is the better way? Instead of linear storing, how can I store data there, Wendy?
You put your data in a table, and when you need, just get the number of the.
Correct. Instead of using a text file, I can save data as a text file, but this has some problem. It's hard to find data. What you can do is use a database. A database, it stores the data in rows and columns. 对不对? And so what you could do is put hello right here. Hello. Maybe how are you? It doesn't have. Okay. I'm just saying that it's more like random data. Okay? And then what you can do is you can search. And then what you do is you just put in a keyword. You, for example. And what it will do, this is a query, it will go down and find the data that you want. And this is much faster. This is much faster. And it's very easy to update some word and then it will change the word here. Okay? And so this is one of the things that is good about database. It's more useful for storing a lot of information. 然后找东西也是快. Okay? 找东西 is faster than just normal thing. Okay? On the table, we need to know some names. Okay? In your notebook, I want you to just draw a little grid. And we're going to put some label. So just draw this, no data, okay? And then we have this thing called column. And then we have rows. Columns are called attributes or fields. So let's write this down. Columns are called attributes. Attributes. So write this down. Other words are called fields. So the data down here, these are called fields. Okay? You put the data in the field. The rows, we call them our record. 对不对? So if I put some, usually you have some ID. Okay? Maybe this is an ID. And then maybe you put some name here. And age here. Okay? If I have data in one row, what is this called there, Wendy? Data in one row is called what? In a database. Data with.
Simple.
Huh?
Simple.
It's called a record.
Oh,
Can you write this down? It's called a record. Okay? One thing like this is called a record. And another word for record, it's called an entity. Okay? Entity. Okay? So these are important. Now, usually when you have some data, you have to have a unique identifier. And this is an ID. Wendy, what is the name of the unique identifier in a table?
primary key.
This is called primary key. Primary key. Like a 钥匙. Primary key must be unique. It's a way to distinguish between 1 and 2. Because the reason why we have to have a primary key, 举个例子, is it possible to have 2 students with the name Wendy? Is that possible there, Wendy? Is it possible to have 2 people with the 一样的名字? Yes. I can have, is it possible to have someone with the same first and last name? Yes. In China, 很多人 they are 姓王, right? Or 姓李, 有很多李李. For example, there's so many people in China with the word li li. Agree or disagree? And so we have a problem. We must ensure that all the records are unique. Therefore, you can have an ID number. For example, 1, 2, 3. So this is Li Li, Li Li. This is Li Li, but I'll call him number 2. We must be able to identify all the data. Therefore, primary key must be unique from all other fields. Okay? It's unique. Do you know what unique means? Not same. It's not same as others. Same as other fields. Why do we need the primary key, Wendy? What is the primary key used for there, Wendy?
It's like a unique identifier of the whole table that the data inside are not all the same.
Correct. Because we may have some data that's the same name, but this. Now, the second thing that we have, so right beside your picture, you have this right in Ched, you've got this data, right? Yeah. The second thing is, in grade 10, we already learned this. This is 10年级的，我们学过, right, Wendy? In AS level, the only other difference is we can have more than one table. Okay? Let's say that this is table 1, table E, and I have other table R. Well, in here, I have other key ID, and this is called a secondary key. Secondary key. What a secondary key is when you have 2 tables and this key links to a primary key and another. It's linking 2 tables. 你需要知道 primary key is a unique identifier. 然后 if I have 多的 table, 举个例子 I had name age, 但是我有很多的 data. This identifier linked to this identifier in another table is called secondary key. Is when we link more than one table. The secondary key links to the primary key in another table. It links table to primary key. Right now, you may not be not treating about table, 但是 we will 我们可以马上 use the 电脑 and 我们可以试 we can have a try. Okay?
So it's like the secondary key, a primary key that from another table.
Correct.
So what about foreign key?
Pardon me? If we have more than one key? You will always, we can have more than one table too. And this table can link to this table, and this link can link to another table. So you can have more than one secondary key. Or what was your question? What was your question? Foreign key?
What about foreign key? Because I remember that the foreign key is this.
Is it 一样的?
Also, it's the same as the second.
Yes. 不一样的 So here's an example. Okay, look. 我们只是看一个 table. 举个例子 This is a database. 我怎么知道是一个 database 是一个那个 table, 对不对？如果你看一个 table 就是一个 database. 然后 primary key.
All table is all database.
对。And then attributes are the columns. We have some fields. 然后we have a primary key. We have linking to table. 我们有两个 table, 对不对？ If we have, it's called secondary key, 还是 foreign key. So what you can see here, 就是 linked to a key here. Okay? So this was our primary key, and then we link. So if we link, 你可以看 the arrow. He linking, that's called foreign key. Okay? So let's go back up to your table. Go back up to your
Is
note.
the secondary key and the foreign key the same thing?
Yeah. It can be let me think. Secondary key. I'll have to double check. Is that the same as a composite key? It could be another key inside the same table. Let's put foreign key. So that's foreign key. Okay? Sorry, let me just fix the spelling here. Foreign key. A foreign key is linking to a primary key in another table. Okay? This key is linking to this key. Okay? Okay. Wendy, can you read the sentence?
A primary key uniquely identifies a record or cannot be blank.
Yeah.
Unused candidate keys are secondary keys. A foreign key linked to a primary key in another table.
Okay, sorry. I'm wrong. Secondary key are if you have two identifiers within the same table. Foreign key is just for linking, okay? And other word for secondary key is called composite key. Okay, well, we need to change our definition. Okay?
So it means like the secondary key is like is it alternated to primary key, right?
Yep. Okay, can we 我们修改 secondary key / composite key. There are other keys in the table that is not a primary key. Okay? These are other unique identifiers. In same table. Okay? Secondary, it just means that you already have a 别的 ID. 如果有两个 ID, 它叫一个 secondary 还是 primary key. 然后 foreign key. This is key. Foreign key is just linking to another table. 我们画一个图片 to get this 想法 there, okay? I'm going to ask you guys some questions. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then I have A, B, C, and then I have name, ba, ba, ba. Okay, are you ready? First, we're going to start with Ched. What is it called? What is this called? Is this primary key, secondary key, 还是 foreign key?
This is
If you have a unique identifier within a table, it's called what?
primary.
对，这个是 primary key. Okay, it's used to, okay. Wendy, what is this called?
The secondary key?
Yep, this is called secondary key. What is the other word for secondary key?
Composite key.
Composite. And if I have another table over here, and it says ABC, and that's linking to this bad guy, what is this called, Chet? If I have a table 2, it's linking to table 1, 叫什么? We have secondary key, primary key, and foreigner key. What is it?
This is I'll need to.
If I go to Hawaii, I'm called a Lawai. What is a Lawai in English? Okay? If you're not from this country, you're别的地方. It's called what? Lawai is foreign.
Foreign key.
It's foreign key. This is pretty easy to remember. Just look at the 图片，你需要画一个图片。如果不在里面那个 table， 就是一个 foreign key。这个就是一个 foreign key， 对不对？它是一个老外。Foreign. Okay? Does everyone have the vocabulary done? Okay? Foreigner. So basically, databases is 就是一个 table. 我们可以有一个 table, 两个 table, 然后我们可以 link data, and it's faster. Now, let's just have a quick look. You don't need to copy this down. 我们就是看一看. On your exam, in about 2 weeks time, 你一定有一个问题。他说 blah 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 blah. We don't need to read that. He have some information. We have 一个 table, 两个 table, 三个 table. Agree or disagree? Customer, and then in here we have the attributes of the fields. First name, last name, date of birth, email. And then he has underline. What does underline mean? 如果是行是重要. What is 重要? Do you think this is primary key, secondary key, 还是 foreign key? 你想?
Primary.
对，就是 if they have underline represents a primary key. Okay? 对不对?
ID, yeah, I see the ID.
对 ，House ID 也是一个 primary rental ID 差不多就是primary key。然后我们也有一个搞笑的东西。Wendy, what do you see here? I have primary keys. Do I have any foreign keys or do I have any secondary keys? 有没有？
Can I sit forward?
Yeah, please come sit closer. Please come sit closer. Do I have any other? How do I find? I have house ID. Is there any foreign keys?
No.
确定? Is there any foreign keys in this?
No, but rental.
Look right here. I have house ID, and in this one I have house ID. So what is house ID then?
The foreign key.
This is a foreign. Foreign key. Okay? 看到了? So you must be able to identify. 然后 you need to know the names. And then if it has a 横, 这个是 primary key. 如果它也写 the customer ID, look, customer ID. Do we have a customer ID? Oh, look, right here. 这个就是 link. 就是 link. 一样的名字. He's linking to a primary key. Okay? So, 这个是6分, maybe 4分 on the culture. You identify primary key, secondary key, 还是 foreigner key. 还是 you need to be able to define the term field. What is a field? It's a column in a table. 对不对? Entity 就是一个any data within it. Foreign key 你也需要写 it's a unique identifier linking other table. 你需要知道那个 the definition. definition 是6分，6分。You 已经写好了。Okay, we already have that. Okay. Now we're going to go 为什么学习 the thing. Database. What is the good thing? We already actually talked about this. Okay. Why is database better than the normal file? Okay, let's share. File-based approach is not very good. 为什么？因为 if I have a text file, what are some problems with text files there, Wendy? If I have a text file and I save that instead of use database, 我们有什么麻烦？
The data is repeated and the storage space is wasted.
Correct. We have data redundancy. 你需要写 in your notebook 写 file-based approach. 这个是那个如果你保存 use the text file. 一个问题是 data redundancy. 它浪费地方。你写 Can you copy this? File-based, some bad thing is waste space. File redundancy. Redundancy. Because the database, if I have one data, I can just fudge it multiple times. Okay? There's no data validation in the save. Right? Wendy, when you save, did it say, are you treating? 还是不 treating? 他们没完. So he has some security issues, right? Also, text, it only can save at the 前面，然后保存在后面，对不对？但是 database 你可以随便保存 ，it's random。database 就是一个 RAM， 有点像一个 RAM， 你可以随便保存一个地方，然后如果你想改那个地方，也可以改，很快。Database, you just 如果有考试，你差不多需要知道3个4个 ，OK? Why is it better? It doesn't have data redundancy, so 你只需要写 redundancy. Why is database better? It reduces redundancy. It has better data integrity. It has validation. He asks you, are you sure you want to delete the information? When? Do you want to guide the information? He also SQL search. 它可以找东西很快。写 SQL. 它可以找东西很快。你需要差不多写4个 in your notebook, okay? He has concurrent access. That means 很多人可以一起工作 at 一样的时间。He has concurrent access. That's a good one. Do you know concurrent there? Ched, do you know what concurrent access is?
No. What's that bad 什么 data? Second one, the review and next one.
哪个？这个 validation, verification. 它就是看如果对不对。Concurrent access means 很多人可以一起工作一样的 database.
Is it the same as the data is consistent?
No. Consistency is more about the dependency of this. Consistency is this one, dependency of data. It means that you don't alternate the linear data. It's more like random. And then it uses the
Just like, once changed, others can also update the data.
Correct. That's called the dependency. Okay?
Dependency.
Yeah. Dependency. Okay? There we go. So that's about it. That's about, well, let's check our understanding. Can we, I'm going to ask you a question. 如果你对, it means we're going to check out. Okay? So today we're just learning, we'll do the SQL data. Okay. Ched, why are databases important? They ensure data is stored
Because they are store data in tables.
你需要选1、2还是3是4
Let
It has the answers.
me have a look.
Why are databases important? They ensure data is stored and secured in an organized manner. They increase the need for manual data input. They help to increase.
They ensure data is stored in a secure and organized manner.
Okay. Wendy, is there any other answer?
Three.
Yes. 就是对 Let's 我们看一下 You are correct. 1、2 Okay. So that's it for your 作业. What I want you to do is 5点1你的作业就是点right here 5点1的作业 Okay, can I write this down? Your home.
So this afternoon, can you help me to let my
可以
notebook be more complete?
可以，你的作业 is 5.1 5.1 is 为什么database 是重要 I'll give you your culture back. If you 再重考 if you want to redo the test, 可以 you just say Mr. Newson, I want to 再试一下 and then I can give you other 机会 Okay? So Wendy, also please yes
What's mine?
yes 看一下 No, just 看如果是你就是 check 这个 check 给 check
Does this
Okay.
paper too hot or I want to see if you okay?
我的妈呀！
看那个问题你做好，看那个你确定 and then you can
Oh shit.
咦，我好绝
right
望
here
啊！
你可以看这个考试是2005年
咦，我好绝望啊！
13 So you can jump on the Teams. 我放那个答案在 Teams. Okay? So you 看一下。
你看完我死了。
Okay.
Oh.
Going to stop the record.